go. So just trying to get the kids to not eat every piece of asparagus with a ton of bacon on it. So what I'll do is I'll just put a few pieces of bacon. Like this. Alright. And go ahead and put that on there. And then we'll get it cooking. And once it browns up, I always like to put the cover on just because I don't want a big greasy mess all over my stove. And then I got my asparagus here. So welcome to Grandma Gina's kitchen. We're making bacon asparagus. And what you do with asparagus, lots of times I get people tell me, it's really chewy, I don't really like it. So with asparagus, and I cleaned all these already, unfortunately. But with asparagus, what you want to do is you want to get it, and then you bend it. And wherever it breaks naturally, that takes off the woody part, and then the rest is perfect for eating. It's tender and juicy. Asparagus helps cleanse the urinary tract, so it's something you want to have in your diet every week. So lots of times I get people tell me, oh, when I eat asparagus, my pee stinks. Sorry, but you know what? It's cleaning it's not the asparagus that's making your pee stink. It's what needs to be cleansed from your body. It's the urinary tract that needs to be cleansed. So when you eat asparagus, it helps cleanse the urinary tract. Most fruits and vegetables are shaped the same as what it's going to help on your body. So you can see this is a nice, clean, skinny lines, which is like a urinary tract. So there we go. So it helps with that. But if you don't break that woody part off, when you eat it, it feels really chewy and like you're chewing on a piece of wood. So you just bend it until it naturally breaks, and wherever it breaks, sometimes they end up really small. You got this asparagus that's like 12 inches long, but then you break it and it ends up 4 inches long. It's like really short. But the thing is you're not going to eat that part anyways. It doesn't taste good. So what you want to do is you want to break it where it naturally breaks. So I remember when my kids were little, the only way they'd eat asparagus is if I wrapped a piece of bacon around it. So every piece of asparagus had a bacon wrapped all the way around it. So to help transition, because you know, sometimes we can't just throw people under the bus and be like, we need to change our diet right now. Adults could probably handle that pretty well, but kids, it's a little bit more challenging. So you want to try to do things that transition them. So what I do is I just like, okay, if there's 6 of us eating or 5 of us eating, I put 5 pieces of bacon, and then I put 2 pounds of asparagus, right? And then you cook that together, and everyone gets a piece of bacon, but everyone gets a ton of asparagus. And then they still get that flavor that they're used to. And then as you go, you get less bacon, less bacon, less bacon. You could chop it up in little pieces, and everyone gets a little piece. And then eventually you just use onion powder and garlic powder, salt and pepper, and then you don't need any bacon. But this is just to show you guys kind of how you need to transition. We can't always just throw our kids under the bus like that, because if you've been feeding them fast food and McDonald's and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden you realize, or you got sick, or you realize like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't eat like this. It's hard to make the kids change that fast. So you want to just be a little bit nicer to the kids and transition them. And when you transition them, they don't fight you. You don't have this big challenge of fighting and screaming and yelling, right? So you want to just do a little small bites for them. And even I hide stuff in the cake. I hide things in the meatloaf. I hide things in the pasta sauce. All of those things, and that really helps. And then the kids don't feel like they're suffering, and you know, their palate changes. Our palate changes frequently. So if you can retrain yourself and you can retrain the children, it makes it easier. So I don't really like to have that much grease in my food. So I'm going to drain it, and I'm going to find somewhere to drain it really quick. And I have a can right here. And I'm going to drain it into that. So bear with me. I know you can't see me right now, but I am trying to drain some of this grease. Woohoo! Just because I really don't want that much grease in our food. But they want the bacon flavor, right? So there we go. So I started to preheat the pan, and then I laid the bacon pieces down there because I don't like them to curl. I'm OCD out about curled up bacon. I want it nice and flat. Anyways, and then so what I did with the asparagus is I cleaned them. Like I told you, I broke them where they naturally break. So they ended up a little bit small, but those are the parts that we want to eat without the woody texture, right? And then I put onion powder, garlic powder, parsley, and pepper. And first I washed them, so they were really wet when I did this, so that's why you can see all the seasoning stuck on there so well. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add them. And of course, there's a little bit of water in there, so be careful because water and grease don't mix well. All right, there you go. And we're just going to put those in there. And if you want, you could go ahead, like if your bacon's really done, because sometimes our stoves are really hot, and the bacon will cook faster than you expected. And by the time you clean all that asparagus, your bacon's already really crisp and you don't want it to burn. So just pull the bacon from the bottom, throw it up on top, and then it's going to go ahead and give it that flavor. So for those of you that are vegan or you don't eat bacon at all, just break the asparagus like I told you. Put onion powder, garlic powder, sea salt, pepper, parsley, your favorite seasonings. Everyone has their favorite seasonings. You just put that on there and then toss it in a bowl, right? Toss it in a bowl and then get the pan hot and just put them in there. That way they'll sear a little bit, and then you could just turn it down to low. So like right now it's really hot, and I'm using my gourmet skillet so it doesn't click as well as the other pans, but I'm gonna just keep an eye on it if it gets warm. And then with all the seasoning left in the pan, once I turn it down to low, I'm just gonna put a little bit of water in here. So I'm gonna grab some water from my filter here. So I'm just getting maybe a half a cup of water in here. And once it's ready, once it's already got that little bit of sear or grill on it, I'm gonna go ahead and add the water. All right, so you can stir it if you want and to see if it got the grill. I know mine's really hot right now, so I know it's good. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and add this water, and then I'm gonna put the cover on, and then when it's warm enough, it's gonna click, and then I'm gonna turn it down to low, and then only just a few minutes. So broccoli, asparagus, cauliflower, they cook really fast. So by the time it clicks, sometimes I just turn it off, and the heat that's in the pan will cook it enough to be tender, especially for broccoli and cauliflower. Asparagus, if you want it a little bit more tender, you can. But anyway, so enjoy your asparagus. Amazing, right? And I'll see you in Grandma Gina's kitchen. Thank you for joining me. See you guys soon. Have a great day. Let me see if I can turn this off.